Hello from Michigan.
So good, everybody. Today we're making deep fried mushrooms. There's only 2 ingredients you'll need. You got your mushrooms, and I'm using pre-made batter. I add water too. So I'm gonna clean the mushrooms up with a damp washcloth or a paper towel to get the like dirt off of it. And I'm also gonna make the batter. And also I'm gonna be making my own ranch dressing. I don't buy the bottled stuff. I'm not gonna follow the directions on here and make it a certain way. So I'll try to show you guys how I make my own ranch. Not exactly from scratch, but it's close enough. And it tastes awesome. So let's get started. Alright, take your mushrooms. Put them in a colander. Pick out the dirt. You don't want the dirt. And mushrooms I'm using, they're somewhat fresh. You can tell that they're not really all that fresh because they're starting to open up. That means they're not fresh. So a fresh one would look like a closed up mushroom like that. You know, they're all the same. So I'm gonna clean these up. All I got's a wet paper towel, so let's wipe them off. Get most of the dirt off. I'm gonna say little dirt don't hurt, and I'm not gonna put them back in here because there's dirt in here. So put that in the sink and I'll wash that out and recycle it. I'm gonna clean most of this off. I am gonna trim up some of these mushroom stems because they are a little bit too long. Like this one here is like way too long, so I'm gonna trim them up. This one here, it's about the same. I can probably trim that up a little bit. So I'm gonna clean these mushrooms up and then be back. Oh, when picking out mushrooms, you don't want these like huge mushrooms. You want like a medium-sized mushroom. This one only got like one mushroom that's like really huge. About the same. Can't really tell on camera anyway, but you don't want like huge mushrooms when you're trying to deep fry them. Mushrooms won't cook properly with the batter. Alright, mushrooms are clean. I'm just going to trim some of the mushroom and cut these like in half. Mushroom stems. They're a little bit too long. I guess you could batter these up and deep fry them, but I'm just going to throw them away. I don't really have no use for them. I'm not gonna. This one here is already short already, so you want them on the short side a little. I guess you could use them in vegetable soup or something, but I don't eat soup. I don't make soup, so no need for me to save mushroom. Yes, I'll trim this one a little bit. Trim them real quick. I don't care if they're real short or not. I don't really care. I'll get this video done. There you go. Mushrooms are ready. Mushrooms are a little wet, so I am going to let them dry a little bit on the counter here while I make my ranch dressing. Because you don't want your mushrooms like wet, otherwise the batter will not stick to them. But if they're too wet, you can use a little bit of the dry powder on them or regular flour to dry up the moisture. But I got ranch dressing I need to make because it takes about 20 minutes for it to sit and get flavor. I'm going to use regular mayonnaise. Now I'm not measuring anything, I'm just going on based on how much ranch dressing I need. So I'm not going to follow the directions on the box, that's recipes. You know, I don't think on here for one pack seasoning pack, they want you a cup of mayonnaise. I haven't never measured it out, I just go by what it tastes like and what it looks like. That's all I can really tell you. You need a fair amount of ranch dressing for these mushrooms. So that's 1 tablespoon. That's probably good enough. And I don't know how much seasoning pack is left on here, but I'm probably gonna pretty much adding the rest of this. Now it says on there you're supposed to add milk. I don't like adding milk to it for some reason. I don't know, it changes the flavor. I'm just gonna add the rest of this, and I'm gonna use this empty seasoning pack to put some water in it. And I'm using cold water. You don't want to use hot water. I tried that before. It makes the salad dressing like way too thick because it activates the there's like a gum based kind of thing in it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water at a time. I do have a fork to mix it up really well. So I'm just going to mix this up. Hopefully it's not too much water. But if you do add too much water, sometimes I do, all you do is add a little bit more mayonnaise to it. I need more water. It will thicken up in the refrigerator too, because there's stuff in the seasoning pack that makes it thicken up. So you know, it might look soupy now, like watery. It'll thicken up. So far it looks like it's supposed to look like. Just gotta mix mayonnaise together with the water. Yeah, it's a nice thickness to it. I'm making a dipping sauce, so I do want it like on a thick side a little bit. That way it sticks to the breading of the mushrooms. I'll give it a little taste. That's good. I usually let this sit in the fridge uncovered, but I do make sure I stir it once in a while and make sure I don't get like a coating, like a skin on the outside. So I always give it a stir. See, it looks like it's watery. There's something in it. There's some kind of gum base or whatever. I have to read the ingredients, but it thickens up after a while. It sits in the fridge for being cold. It's almost like an instant jello kind of thing. There's something in it. Is it X something gum, whatever. It's a thickening agent. So the ranch is done. All we got left is deep fry the mushrooms. I do gotta let this sit for a while. It does have to marinate with the seasonings and stuff in it. Let's make the batter for the mushrooms. Let's get that going. Alright, all you need is a bowl. And you can use whatever batter mix you want. I'm using McCormick beer batter. And you don't have to use beer, so you can just use batter. On the back it says all you need is 1 cup of mix, which, I don't know, I might use like a ½ cup mix maybe. And I'm not gonna add water until I feel it's necessary. I usually don't follow the directions on here, but I usually add water. And I want you to use vegetable oil. I don't know if I can't remember if you're supposed to add vegetable oil to the mix. I don't think you're supposed to. I don't know why it says vegetable oil. I guess for pan frying, but they should take that off the ingredient list. You don't really need that because you're going to be deep frying fish anyway. Fish, chicken, doesn't really matter. It's already been opened already. And again, I'm not measuring this out. I'm just going to dump it in here, add water to it till it's the right consistency that I like. I like a almost like a pancake mix. But I do have a lot of mushrooms there. Well, don't seem like a lot of mushrooms, but the surface area of the mushrooms are actually pretty big, so it's gonna take a lot of batter. We got some ice cold water, so I'm just gonna add cold water to this until it turns into almost like a pancake mix between pancake and crepes. You don't want it too thin, you don't want it too thick. And if you do add too much water, you can add more you can use pancake mix, or you can use extra of this if it adds too much water. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of water until I get a batter. I like my batter on the thin side. Coating on the whatever I'm deep frying. I don't like a huge thick coating. Like this would be like way too thick anyway. So I still need water. And it doesn't matter if you got chunks of flour in here. It won't hurt it. It even says on the box if there's like little chunks of flour that didn't get incorporated in here, it won't hurt nothing. I'm making a lot of water. I'm making a lot of batter. Try not to get no ice in there. You don't want chunks of ice. Mix this up really well. It's almost getting to the consistency that I want. Flour mixed in. The reason why I do use like pre-made flour or batter, whatever. Time I buy all those ingredients on that list, you're talking about 30 bucks. Because there's like corn flour, corn starch, and there's salt, different yellow corn flour, which a lot of stuff I can't get in my area anyway. So would you rather spend $2 to $3, or you want to spend 20 to 30 bucks plus shipping and handling for bags and bags of flour that you're only going to use once? And I guess I'll try this out. Like I said, don't worry about the chunks in there. You can try to break it up best you can, but it won't hurt nothing. And it might be on the thin side a little bit too much. So all you do is add more flour. And if you do run out of the batter mix, you can use a little bit of flour, as long as it's not no more than like 50%. Because there's stuff in here that makes it like fluffy or whatever. If it makes any sense. And I don't think it's baking soda and powder or nothing. The deep fryer's already been heated up to 350. The only thing left to do is throw some mushrooms into the batter into the deep fryer. I guess I can show you that part real quick too. Still kind of waiting on my ranch to get done. By the time I deep fry all these mushrooms. Hopefully I got enough batter too. Well, let's go to the deep fryer. Yeah, I know my deep fryer is dirty. It needs to be cleaned. The oil needs to be changed out of it too. But deep frying stuff with batter, you want the basket down. You don't want to try to make them with the basket up, because it won't work. All the batter will go through the string. So all you do is mix this around, make sure they're nice and coated in batter. You know, not really all that really special about it. I'm gonna do 2 different batches. This time I get all these mushrooms in there and they'll be done anyway. They don't take that long to cook. Well, the batter's sticking to them pretty good. What you want to do is make sure they're nice and coated. Put a little bit on here on top. When you're taking out, make sure it stays. Try to get the excess batter off. And slowly, be careful, do not drop that mushroom in there. And the oil till it bubbles. Shake it away, it should float. And if any oil gets from in the batter or whatever, it won't hurt nothing. So I'm going to continue to do all these. See, these are a little bit better because they actually float. Unlike anything else, usually sinks to the bottom. You got to make sure the batter gets cooked, otherwise it'll stick to your basket. Especially a shallow deep fryer like I got. If you have leftover batter, just find some random stuff in the refrigerator. Batter it up, deep fry it, see if it tastes any good or not. I got like chunks of cheese in there if I got leftover batter. I'm gonna deep fry those up. Oh, last mushroom to go in the batch. There you go, there's the first batch. They're in there, you can see them. You will have to take something to flip them over. I'll just try to move them around. Coat them in oil, make sure. Roll them around. They'll usually tend to stay in one spot. And so you have to flip them over. So we'll be back when these are done. I do the other batch, I won't film doing that part. Now the first batch of mushrooms are done. They are nice and golden brown, which you can tell. I'm going to let them sit here and drain a little bit. I'm going to get a plate with a paper towel. These only take about, no more than a minute to 2 minutes. You're gonna make sure they're nice and golden brown. That's all you gotta do. Roll them around, make sure all the edges of the batter got cooked. Looks like it. Looks pretty awesome. You're not gonna get the restaurant style with like really dark brown. Cause I hate to break it to everybody. Either they got coloring in the batter to make it look like it's like dark brown, or it's already pre-made mushrooms that have already been deep fried once. So you're not going to get a really dark batter color on these mushrooms. Alright, mushrooms drained good enough in the basket. So paper towel. And be careful not to get grease on you, because sometimes it drips a little grease. On to the next batch of mushrooms. This is the first batch of batter. Put the mushrooms in here. Basket's down already. Mix this up. And it looks like I made just enough batter for the mushrooms. So I'm gonna make sure these are nice and coated, fry them up, and I already seen all this process, so be back to sauce them up. When the mushrooms come out of the deep fryer, you can add just a little bit of salt. Mix around, a little bit of salt. Nothing fancy. I'm just gonna put it on the plate here. Off to one side. Got my ranch, homemade ranch. Little containers for dipping. And my home style ranch, homemade. Not exactly from scratch, just a bunch of seasonings or anything, but let's fill this container up. And you got some cocktail sauce. I'll shake this up, hasn't been opened yet. So this is optional too. And you can have hot sauce if you want. What else sauce anybody would want to dip it in? I guess barbecue sauce would work. I had this in the freezer to get cold, because it wasn't cold. There you have it. Let's get a close-up shot. Here, your mushrooms, nice and golden brown. Get some ranch, cocktail sauce. I'll try to get a thumbnail. Get this out of the way. A thumbnail. Well, I'll let these cool off for a minute. All you have to do is enjoy them. I will try one on camera, so I'm gonna cool off. I'll be back. Let's get one of these mushrooms to try. Naturally, I'm gonna go for the ranch, because that's usually what I like on the mushrooms. Hopefully you can hear the crunch. Look like nice and golden brown. Hopefully they're not too hot. They just pretty much came out of the deep fryer anyway. Both batches. They don't take long to cook, so cook them really well in ranch. Make sure it cools off. I guess I'll try one in cocktail sauce too. Usually I'm not gonna try them by themselves because to me it's kind of boring and bland. But there's a little bit of ranch in the mushroom. Let's give this a try, see if it's actually any good. Outside's nice and crispy. Mushroom's not overcooked. It looks kind of crunchy in the middle. One more for with the cocktail sauce. I know some people out there don't like ranch dressing and stuff like that. Which, you know, everybody's taste buds are different. But a cocktail sauce. Cheers, everybody. I'm gonna eat my mushrooms off camera. These are awesome. I'm not gonna give them myself a rating, but I do recommend it. I do have leftover batter, which I'm gonna make some other stuff. So I'm gonna finish these. These are awesome. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button for more videos. Peace out, everybody.